Tuesday. Hello, everyone, and welcome. Hi, Katie. How you doing?
Hi. Good. How are you?
I'm great. I'm doing well. It's been an interesting, fun week. I had some company in on Monday from out of state, which was a nice surprise. And yeah, lots of good things. Nothing crazy has happened this week.
Yay.
So things are pretty good. How are you? Kids to bed?
No, Hubs is going to get him down.
Oh, okay.
But he's like a clean freak. And my 3 oldest live in our basement. They all have their own bedroom in our basement. So that's like their space, which is fine, but they're not neat freaks. And so he's like, I cannot go to the basement. Like it gives him bad anxiety because it's always a mess. So I spent 5 hours today deep cleaning that basement, like picking up all their toys and their clothes and vacuuming and cleaning their disgusting bathroom and like all the things. And so tonight he can put them to bed because he can go down to the basement for me.
Oh, because you cleaned it all. I have to say I'm a neat freak and a clean freak too. So I would do it myself. I mean, obviously.
Yeah. It's different though because he works and I'm home and I can deal with it better than he can. And
well, what I meant to say is I just drive myself crazy. I don't have anyone to drive me crazy or anything. So hello to Society Page, the best videos. Did I send you her page? I forgot, didn't I?
Yeah, it's okay. I'll look it up at the end of the night. I'll write it down.
So good. And hello to Jackson. All right, so tonight we are going to start the 2022 testimony of Wendi Adelson in the murder trial for Katherine Magbanua. Now, this time it's only Katherine and her attorneys because Sigfredo was found guilty, but for her it was a hung jury, I believe, or mistrial. So, or both, I should say both. But so it's a little bit of a different flavor, and it's 3 years later. And to set the scene a little bit more, Charle Adelson, Wendi's brother, was just arrested.
Okay.
Just arrested prior to her giving this testimony. So she was, we might say, a little rattled. Well, and we'll just like notice the difference. Now, one thing I want to do, and I meant to
pause. Sorry, is that her on the screen right now?
No, this is the preview. What a change.
What a change. She does look terrible.
What was I saying? Oh, so one thing I meant to do, I was going to, hey Helen, hi Helen. So one thing I meant to do is, I want the audience, if you could please help me out, and Katie, because you have a much better memory than I do, and I just poured myself a little. I was just like a miniature adult beverage, but it's not miniature and it's way too strong. So by the time that's partly, but I needed a little anyway. So I'd like to see if we can identify which questions Georgia asked in 2019 that she asked again. Of course, she's going to ask them a little bit differently, and or the flip side of that being which questions she didn't ask in 2019 and asked in 2020. So chat, please write these down. Help me out. Mentor Lawyer and I'm prepping to do a video with Mentor Lawyer James. I believe it's pronounced Wyszewski, but I could have that wrong. But James, has been patiently waiting for me to finish the series. And I reached out to him yesterday. He's like, how about if I just interview you instead? And I was like, okay, but I'm going out of town. So, but either way, I want to have my ducks in the row because that was like, I need to do my homework because he kind of gave me an assignment. And then I was like, oh, I better really like take this seriously. So that's why I made him wait. And I didn't mean to make him wait this long. And I feel kind of bad about it. So help me out, chat. So don't let me make a fool out of myself any more than I used.
Oh, stop.
Well, there are so many people who know so much minutia, and then when you're talking live and you're chit-chatting and you're laughing, you kind of I kind of forget things, and it's like, oh yeah, so I don't mind at all being reminded of things. So,
and we're doing 25 minutes tonight.
We're going to do 25-minute chunks instead of 20-minute chunks because that'll give us through the 72 minutes of testimony here. So we're starting out. All right, you ready?
Ready. I broke a nail right before we started, so I'm chewing on it.
I need a manicure. Sorry. I got so much to do. So much to do. That's
all right. State may call next witness.
One of the
state calls Wendi Adelson.
The state calls Wendi Adelson. That's Christopher DeCoste.
Wendi Adelson, please.
One of the attorneys for Katherine Magbanua.
Okay.
And that's one of the prosecutors working with Georgia Kappelman, who is going to fetch Miss Wendi. And here she is, 3 years later, with that damn dress. That damn dress. I'm sorry. And look at her hair. I mean, my God.
Stand, please.
Somebody didn't have time for the Brazilian blowout this time around.
Right.
Please raise your right hand.
Can everyone hear okay?
Swear or affirm that the testimony you shall give shall be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth.
Please have a seat.
Have a seat, Wendi. Where's my volume?
Ms. Kappelman.
Thank you, Your Honor. Please introduce yourself and spell your name.
My name is Wendi Adelson, WendiAdelson.
Ms. Adelson, where do you currently live?
I currently live in Miami Beach.
And are you here today pursuant to a state subpoena?
Yes, I am.
And do all state subpoenas confer immunity?
I don't know if all state subpoenas confer immunity, but this one does.
Just pack that away.
Okay, and do you believe that your subpoena is special or different from other state subpoenas?
I don't believe it's special or different, so I suppose they all carry immunity.
All right.
This is a trained attorney.
And does the
a Florida trained attorney,
right? In the jurisdiction there where she was teaching law at a law school. I don't know.
By the subpoena mean that you can never be prosecuted associated with this case.
That's right.
That's what you think it means?
That's what I think it means.
Okay.
That's what a lot of people think it means, and it doesn't. So let's go. Let's go, Georgia.
What did she say she thinks it means? I'm sorry.
That by giving testimony, because she was, first of all, she was subpoenaed. She had to be subpoenaed because she wouldn't come otherwise. And secondly, she just asked her, does that mean you will not be held to, let me just, I don't want to rephrase it. Sorry. Anything she says can be used against her, but it's limited use. So she'll explain it.
And so
your
husband had a job opportunity here at Florida.
Whoops. What happened? Sorry.
A prosecutor couldn't use what I say here today against me.
He can.
Correct. But you could be prosecuted. Just nothing you said here today could be used against you in that prosecution.
Okay. So that's why Georgia has to be so careful of what she asks and why she doesn't ask some things that we might want her to ask.
Okay.
Right? Okay.
Agree with that.
I suppose so.
Okay.
Hi, JPJ.
Have you made any sort of special deal with the state attorney's office or with any law enforcement or government agent?
No.
All right.
Okay.
Was there a time that you lived in Tallahassee?
Yes.
Okay. Chat is saying that the volume,
very quiet.
The volume, and it is very quiet. Let me just check my audio here. let me turn off my mic and see if that helps. I'm going to turn off my mic, you guys, and you let me know if this helps. It may not because it's very quiet. Let me know.
We still live in Tallahassee.
What was the time frame that you lived here?
I was here for about 8 years. I lived here my last year of law school, so the academic year 05-06. We were in Miami for 06-07, and then I would have been back 2007 to 2014.
All right. And what brought you back to Tallahassee after you returned to Miami after law school?
Well, I went to Tallahassee to finish law school, and then we went to Miami because Danny had a job opportunity at University of Miami. It didn't come to fruition. He was not hired, and so we came back to Florida State.
Now, I think one of the reasons that it's quiet is because she's speaking in her, I'm just a good little schoolgirl voice. I'm nice and quiet, and I'm just paying attention to what the teacher's saying, and I'm a really nice girl. But I do apologize. I do have her on full blast, and she is pretty quiet. Okay. Sorry, but she is putting it on. She's going to raise her volume a little bit more as we go forward.
And so your husband had a job opportunity here at Florida State?
Yes.
Okay, and that's what brought you to Tallahassee?
That's what brought us here.
And you also had a job opportunity at Florida State, is that right?
That's right.
What was that job?
I worked at the FSU Center for Human Rights, and at first I was a staff attorney. I used to represent victims of violent crime, asylum seekers, and victims of human trafficking. And then I taught various classes at FSU Law School. And then I ran something called the Medical Legal Partnership.
Which, of course, means I don't know what immunity means or limited derivative use immunity means.
Yes. Right.
And how long did you do that?
I was working at FSU for 7 years.
All right, so basically the whole time you were here in Tallahassee.
Okay, so now she's looking up to the left and up straight forward, not as much to the right. So to me, and these are facts that are just baseline stuff like, okay, where did I teach? What years did I teach? What years did I live in Tallahassee? As opposed to things I believe I practice for that are over here on this chalkboard. Okay, so you see the direction of the eye is very different on these.
When I wasn't a student, I was working for FSU.
All right. When did you meet Dan Markel?
Danny and I met first online, and we met when.
Okay, so she goes up for information and then down and to her left a little bit, which means there is some emotional accessing in generally speaking, if you're trying to do some kind of rudimentary body language. Not that I know anything about it, but that's very clear what she's doing here. And it's very, very rare that you see her looking down.
I was just going to say the same thing. I do not remember her looking down in the last one at all.
Right. And again, and remember, her brother was just thrown in jail and charged with the murder of Dan Markel, along with Katherine Magbanua, who she's now testifying basically against. I don't know who she's testifying. She's testifying. Right. Let's put it that way.
I was starting my 2L year of law school. So that would have been 04, fall of 2004.
When were the two of you married?
We were married in February 2006.
Do you have any children in common?
We have 2 children.
All right, both boys?
Now, this time she said, we have 2 children, which is also very rare. Very rare. She doesn't
usually I
have my children, my boys, blah, blah, blah. And JPJ, yes. Dawn, what is her hair telling you? I mentioned that in the beginning, but it's just telling me that this girl didn't have time for her Brazilian blowout. Wonder what her nails look like.
Right. Probably like mine.
You moved to Tallahassee the second time to work here at Florida State. Were you living with Dr. Markel the entire time as a married couple?
I'm sorry, Dr. Markel?
I'm sorry, Mr. Markel, Dan Markel, your
So,
Doctor?
right. She is not going to miss a beat. She's paying attention.
Oh,
And
there's a big moth by me. Sorry.
and so she's more than willing to point out Georgia's obvious mistake.
husband.
It's easy to
Were we living as a married couple when we returned to Tallahassee?
Yes.
Yes. So by that point, we returned in August maybe of 06. So we got married in February of 06. We've been married 6 months by then.
And the entire time that you were living as a married couple, was that at the Truscott address that we've seen photos of earlier?
No, we lived first in a rented house. I actually don't remember what neighborhood it was now. It's been a while. But we lived there until we bought our house. So maybe 6 months in the other locations. Don't remember exactly.
All right. Do you remember what year you moved into the Truscott address?
We moved into the Truscott address. Maybe, I don't remember exactly what year.
So here again, she goes up and then she's looking down.
Yep.
This is really interesting because I did not notice this the first couple times. I don't know how many times I've seen this testimony, but I don't know why I couldn't have just told James, yes, let's do this. And I'm like, no, I've got to study up.
Probably, it would have been 2008 or 2009. It was before my older son was born.
So she's almost looking straight down. She's facing, like her head is almost straight with her shoulders perpendicular and facing Georgia. So she's not going right or left. It's maybe slightly to her right, slightly to her left, excuse me.
You were living there in
Which is
he was
generally
living there in
emotional.
2014 when this murder occurred, correct?
He was living there in 2014.
And you were no longer living there.
I stopped living there in 2012.
No emotional accessing when
No.
she asks if he was living there when he was murdered. Not even a pause. No, nothing.
Because she knows where he was murdered.
Well, but but she doesn't care. I mean, to me, that says she doesn't care. Like that she doesn't emotions about where he was living when he was murdered, which is
right.
really
In 2012, was there a separation
if true,
first before a divorce, or
Yes, there was a separation.
when was the separation effective?
September 2012.
And whose decision was it to separate?
It was my decision.
And was part of the reason for the separation differing views on how your children should be raised within the Jewish faith?
I mean,
Pause.
Part of
That's the same question. She absolutely asked that question.
You asked that question. Yep. Oh, look at her little piece right there. I love these random freeze screens. I know mine are horrible, but hey. But she also went up into, because normally she's going up right. She's doing up left a lot this time around. So I'm not sure with her. I think it makes a big difference in terms of, because she's practiced. It's been a couple years now. She's gone through this one more time. So she's just actually remembering in an authentic way, not in a, oh yes, I practiced this, I rehearsed this, I thought about this question prior to getting it, like a million times, and how would I answer?
But not really a central decision. It was more just our relationship overall. I mean, Danny certainly wasn't, we were on different pages when it came to religion, but I wouldn't say that was.
And that's what I'm specifically inquiring about, was that part of it? So I think your answer is yes, that was part of it.
Sure.
Okay, you are both Jewish, correct?
Yes.
All right, and both of you did agree to raise the children within the Jewish faith?
We did. And we
okay, so what were the differences between the two of you on that front?
Probably in the observance of keeping kosher. So I don't keep kosher, and Danny did, and that became difficult to do in Tallahassee and difficult to do with differing beliefs around that.
Can you explain for the jurors what keeping kosher means?
Sure. It's a separation.
Now, just by the way, if you all remember the interviews with others, friends of the Markels, friends of Wendi and Danny when they were married, she was zealously kosher. It wasn't a problem. It wasn't because it was difficult to find kosher options in Tallahassee.
Right.
Okay. I mean, you could use that argument in some parts of jurisdictions or some parts of the country. You know, you could use that about it's harder to be a vegan in the Midwest or whatever. But this is very inauthentic. And what's interesting is, I mean, no one would have any reason to lie about that. And it wouldn't have been a question that she needed to. So, I mean, she could have said, no, that's not why. We just didn't get along, or go on her bandwagon of he was so terrible to her.
Of milk from meat. So you couldn't have a cheeseburger, for example, right? You couldn't have milk with a meat product. And the meat has to be killed in a ritual specific way that's been blessed by a rabbi. And you're not supposed to eat shellfish of any kind, so no seafood. And there's a lot more rules, but those are just some high level ones.
All right, and was it very?
There are some more rules. There are a lot more rules. I know more about kosher than this Jewish girl, I think, and I'm not even Jewish. But okay, but sure.
Very important to your husband that the children be raised on a kosher diet.
It was, yes.
All right, and that was something that was not important to you.
It's not a question of it not being important to me. It just started to supersede other things that are important, like love and trust.
There we go.
Okay.
There it is.
That face too. That face when she's
there it is.
There's that face. Okay, let's get to these comments. There's the trap. Yes, they're the chat is putting in mouse and cheese emoji.
See that. She kind of looks like a little mouse.
Does she? More like
yeah, today she does.
Her dress is on fire, and that's not because I like it.
Liar, liar, my dress is on fire.
Wonder if she got it dry cleaned from last time. It looks pretty wrinkled, like she slept in it.
Practical to you?
At times it was complicated. I mean, there was one particular time I had taken the boys to a picnic for one of my clients for one of her children, and my older son had pizza, and Danny was very, very upset about this. He was maybe 1 at the time, but it was pizza that wasn't kosher, and so that became challenging.
All right, so this was something that sort of came up as an issue during the course of the marriage.
It did.
All right, and other things as well. I don't.
Pause.
Okay, go ahead.
This is the first time that I've seen her doing her. Like, yeah. Now was the first time I've seen her do it this time.
Yeah,
and she's definitely more frazzled and not trying to put on a show. I mean, she is, but it's not like last time.
Yeah, she's not in full costume.
Right.
She's not in full character.
Yes.
But we see parts of it.
Yes.
Including the costume. So by costume, I mean
dress.
Everything. Okay. Is your mother kosher, Wendy? Good question. And hello, Lisa. Yes. Okay. What I was noticing, I forgot now what I was noticing. Oh, yeah. So she was saying it was a problem because the 1-year-old got pizza, but he was only 1. So she's trying to excuse. It's almost like she's still trying to argue it.
Yeah.
She was trying to justify it. He was only 1. So you can just hear that that's probably what she said. He doesn't know. He's only 1. Yes. But Dan knew, and it was important to Dan. And it was theoretically important to her until she changed her mind about something rather important.
I mean, to suggest that it was based solely on the children's diets, but that was something that is going to come up later, and I wanted to make sure the jurors understood what was meant by kosher diet. All right. Did you move out of the marital home when you separated?
I did.
And where did you go to live when you left the marital home?
I rented a house, and I went to that house.
All right. Was that at the Aqua Ridge residence?
Yes, it was.
Does 3303 Aqua Ridge sound right?
That sounds right.
Okay. And that location is here in Leon County, right?
It is.
Okay. As well as the Trescott residence.
They're both in Leon County.
About how far apart are those 2 residences?
I think it used to take about 15, 20 minutes to drive, depending on traffic.
Yeah, so I'm seeing her coming off as not as much like, I'm so,
Yes.
but she's still trying to come off as like a good little schoolgirl,
Yes.
getting
But
all the answers just right.
she
Like
doesn't seem quite as Stepford wife as she did the last time.
Right. She doesn't have that full character going yet.
How long after you moved out of
And you will love when you see it show up.
Oh, good.
home did you file for divorce?
I actually don't remember the answer to that.
Okay, so now she's going to the other direction, which is interesting because she really doesn't know. But the other times when she absolutely knew she was going to the right, she pulled up an answer that she prepared for, I think.
I'm assuming I would have filed for divorce right away.
Within a month sound about right?
That sounds about right.
Okay. I'm going to show you Exhibit 59.
Now, how plausible is that?
That you don't know?
You don't remember when you filed for divorce, was it right away or not? She's definitely extending the time and trying to, I think this is a way of trying to control the conversation a little bit by, she knows the answer to some of these things and she's just like, I'm not sure. Okay.
And ask you to look at
That sounds about right. I'm so cooperative. That's why I'm not getting changed. Right. She's attempting to be likable, like a nice little schoolgirl. Teacher's pet. There's that dumb face. Oh my God.
That was a face of disdain. Like
it was like, I'm going to be nice to you. Oh, I'm going to be pleasant. Yeah. But I really wouldn't if I didn't have to.
Yeah.
Yeah.
previously a little bit, right?
I don't have any memory of that.
Okay. So this is the first time you've ever seen this like that?
It's the first time I remember. It's
right,
very big.
Take a look and kind of just thumb through it. I think you'll find and then just a little bit.
Like, really? You want me to do what? That's a lot to add.
What is she looking at? Do you know?
I believe it's the
My question is, Adelson, you can look through it as much as needed to answer this question.
She had a question. What was your question?
It's just, it looks like it's about 800 pages long. So you want me to
You'll see.
I want you to look through it as much as is needed to answer the following question. Does it appear to be a fair and accurate copy of your divorce file?
I mean, from the front page, sure.
She's like, it's so big.
I'm sorry, an 800-page divorce file?
You want me to look at the whole thing?
That's insane.
Right. It was a lot. Which is
800-page divorce file.
Right. Which is all about motive here. Ha ha, it's so cute.
Wow.
You want me to look at it? It's 800 pages. Oh God.
Okay. You have, thumb through it a little bit and just see if there's any reason to dispute that that's your complete divorce file from the clerk's office. It's certified if you want to take a look at the certification.
Okay.
Yeah, it's all about the motive. And that's why she's making a fuss now. Up until now, she's like, I'm a good little schoolgirl and I'm trying so hard to answer all your questions and I'm just, everything's cool and, you know, I've got my immunity and I'll never be charged for anything because I didn't do anything. But you want me to look at all of this?
So Georgia that's never showed her that last time. And I'm blown away by that. So I'm sure the jury is like, I'm sorry, what?
Right. So that's good too. Yeah. So she didn't ask her to clarify or verify any of the depositions.
No.
Okay.
No.
Okay.
You would.
Because that's when Wendi was like, well, I mean, you can show me and I'll probably believe you.
Right. Oh, okay. But didn't she show her? She maybe just showed her like the cup, a little bit of it, or no?
No. No.
Okay. Okay. Well, and so she learned, and she's like, okay, this time we're going to show her. No deniability.
Right on top?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Oh, right on top. Like she's acting like this is so freaking complicated.
And she's a lawyer, which we've already well established that.
Right.
She's seen these pages before.
Yeah.
Even if it wasn't her own divorce pages, she's seen it.
Right.
All the pages should be numbered through, so I'm referring to 1 through 5 on the bottom right corner.
I want to smoke in a pancake.
Okay, and that was your petition for divorce, correct?
Yes.
And so this was, would you agree that this was a contentious divorce?
I think it was made much more difficult by Danny, who didn't.
Danny's the problem.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Want to get divorced, but sure, we can
All
call
right.
it.
But sure.
Not.
But sure. Here we go. Here now it starts. Here we go. Here we go, ladies and gentlemen.
What we would classify as an amicable divorce. You hear about those.
No, it would be not an amicable divorce.
All right. And part of what you were.
And that's something to smile about, right? That's how appropriate is this? See, people. I'm not saying anything about Wendi Adelson, but psychopaths in general don't know appropriate behavior and emotions at appropriate time. They don't know that social appropriateness. Obviously, that's why they're called sociopaths as well.
Right.
They don't know what's appropriate.
Right.
Seeking in your divorce in these documents permission from the court to move with your children to South Florida. Is that correct?
That was part of the overall divorce proceedings.
All right, and specifically on pages 43 through 50, there's a petition to include a request to be allowed to relocate with minor children. Is that correct?
Yes.
All right. And why were you seeking to move to South Florida?
I was seeking a place that would be stable and permanent for the kids and me. Danny never planned on staying in Tallahassee. It's just a question of time before he moved to New York to be with his girlfriend or had dreams of being at Harvard. So Tallahassee was just a temporary stopping point.
Says who?
Right.
When did that? Okay, chat, help me out here. Did anyone ever hear that from any of Danny's friends or family?
Right.
This is new. This didn't come up in 2019, but it came up because Georgia is having her elaborate a little bit more on the divorce.
I also appreciate the way that she said that Southern Florida would be a permanent place for her and the boys. When earlier in the last trial, she was asked if she had permanently moved there, and it was not permanent.
Right. Right. Even though it was.
Right.
It wasn't, but it was.
Right.
And look at her face. So now you're starting to see the lower teeth jut out in the anger starting to come a bit more. And she's talking about Danny's new girlfriend.
Yep. But yeah, Georgia never did any of this in the last trial with her looking at her divorce. And I find it interesting because Wendi seems to be very interested in it. Like, while she's not answering a question, she's like looking down and thumbing through it.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So that's different.
Okay. Oops. Okay. And her new awesome girlfriend is JP. Jay says yes, and Pappy says she looks like the Grinch who stole Christmas.
She does.
Quite a face.
Yeah.
She is Grinchy. She's a Grinch. The new girlfriend was lovely. So sad.
I wanted a place
I think I've mentioned on this channel before why Danny's girlfriend, what she must have gone through, which we don't talk about very much, really resonates with me because I lost somebody abruptly, and I really felt for her.
Permanent for us, where we had family support.
And why did South Florida seem like a place of permanence to you?
Right. I mean, because we had family support, because I work in immigration, there were a lot of career opportunities for me there.
Are you from South Florida?
I am.
Okay. And when you say family support, what family resided there?
My mother, father, and brother.
And what about your other brother that
Was the relocation?
has nothing to do with your family?
He lives in New York.
Right. But like,
Mhm.
there's a
I
reason.
mean, that's not a huge family support. Like I would consider a huge family support, or a family support being cousins, uncles, sisters, brother, like a lot. This is 3 people.
Yep. Yep.
All the people who have been named as conspirators. Excuse me, I misspoke. Mr. Harvey hasn't yet.
Yeah.
Her mother, her brother, and her.
Yeah.
Her support.
To South Florida the most important part of your divorce?
No.
Was it your most non-negotiable term?
No.
But it was very important to you?
I wouldn't say it was very important to me.
Was it very important to your mother?
She was much more looking forward to having her daughter and her grandchildren home. Yeah.
Reframing a little bit, but sure, Wendi.
She reframes everything.
If you would take a look.
So now we're getting the head starting to side tilt.
At page 46, paragraph E. Just read that to yourself and let me know when you've had an opportunity to read that.
I read the first paragraph by E. Do you want me to read the second one?
Yes, please.
Okay.
This is a very interesting, different tactic for Georgia. It's very different.
Mm-hmm. And for Wendi, would you like me to read the second one too? Because I'm so cooperative. I'm such a nice girl. Ugh. Ugh.
And in those paragraphs, Ms. Adelson, are you alleging that Mr. Markel has created a hostile work environment for you at the Florida State University College of Law?
He did during the period of time.
And was disparaging you to your colleagues?
Now, I don't know if you noticed this or not, but she read, and when she looked up, she knew that would be when she would be getting her question, and she's leaned in one of her shoulders toward.
Yeah, she did.
Toward Georgia, which means I'm ready to take this on now. So she's going to start transitioning from the I'm a little good schoolgirl to something else.
And if you'll take a look at pages beginning on 79, the document beginning on 79.
I'd say it looks like she's trying to give her some kind of body language saying, I'm not afraid of you.
Yeah.
And the question is this Mr. Markel's 23-page response to your motion to relocate?
You're asking me, is this
his response to your motion to relocate?
Yes, it looks like it.
All right, it's quite verbose. Would you agree with that?
I imagine it is. At some point, Danny fired or alienated all of his attorneys and started doing his own legal work.
Throw him under the bus. The victim. We are victim blaming.
Speaking ill of the dead. Yeah.
Like, what are you doing?
And she thinks she's being charming.
Right.
That is never going to be charming. No. I don't care what you look like. And you certainly, I don't care what you look like. That will never, ever be something to smile about.
And if she's saying this stuff in a courtroom in front of a jury and judge, what is she saying behind closed doors to her friends and her parents and her children?
And her brother that she's so close to, Charle Adelson.
Right.
Right.
So fair to say he was adamantly opposed to you taking this case to South Florida.
She really does have
shared all of that here, which is different than the conversations we had, but
that's what he filed.
What he filed is what the judge sanctioned him for.
Yes. Right. And in that filing, I'm specifically referencing to page 82, where Markel states that the sole stated reason the wife wants to relocate with the party's minor children is so she can be closer to her parents. my understanding is you don't agree that's why you wanted to move.
It wasn't the sole reason why I wanted to move.
But you do agree it was a reason.
It was absolutely a reason. I wanted to create some stability for my kids. And
it wasn't the sole reason I wanted to move, but she just said she didn't move there permanently. She didn't want to move there. She loved Tallahassee, but she just gave herself away right there. It wasn't the sole reason I wanted to move. So she had multiple reasons. Okay, so that was a trap. Boom.
And she can never just answer a question.
Yeah, she gets herself in trouble for sure with all of her talk.
It's the word vomit.
And Helen wants to know, where are the other half of her eyebrows? Well, they were Botoxed away. That's what happened. She's got the Botox fallen droopy eyebrow thing going on. And but she was in a hurry.
It happens.
It happens. She knew she was going to be on television. She had to get that Botox, and she should have gotten it a little sooner, let that wear off a little bit.
Having family around helps have a more stable environment.
Is it fair to say that
because that's reasonable, right? Here we go. Okay, this is
if
really
that's so important to you, then what about Danny's family?
Well, they lived in Canada.
Right, but she doesn't let them visit. If family is so important.
Right. No, only her. Only her. Right. Good point.
Your mother, Donna Adelson, was following these divorce proceedings pretty closely?
She was definitely being a little bit over involved. Yeah.
She was pretty invested in your personal life.
So cute.
She is one of those moms, yes.
All right.
Oh, see how charming. Was charming.
So
and
cute.
She's one of those moms.
You talked about your mom, Donna Adelson. Who's your father?
What is my father's name?
Mm-hmm.
Harvey Adelson.
And where do Donna and Harvey live currently?
They live in Miami.
And are you still very close with your parents?
I am.
All right. And do you still live in close proximity to your parents?
I live about a 15-minute drive away.
And where did they...
Now, I sense that she's getting a little nervous here. You want to know my father's name? Where are we going?
Again, just answer the question.
Mm-hmm.
Who is your father? Oh, you want his name? It's just
right.
Oh, good Lord.
Pappy.
Oh, Pappy.
I love Pappy.
They live at the time that Dan Markel was killed.
They lived in Coral Springs, Florida.
See, she's back to looking at that.
Yeah, looking down. Probably just gather her
shit. What's coming next?
By the way, Pappy just made me. I'm a very visual person.
Oh, Dawn.
There's this really great YouTube channel. She has cats, and
no.
What?
Are you gonna tell me she uses the cat's hair to knit something?
Not clothing. She just makes little miniature cats.
Oh, Dawn.
Yeah, hairball. Sorry.
So gross.
Okay, so we're not so grossed out, okay?
Back around the time that you would live in Tallahassee.
It's cute.
And did she have a close relationship with your children as well?
She did.
Are your parents employed?
Right now, they are both retired.
What about back in 2014?
In 2014, they were both employed.
How were they employed then?
Then my father had a dental practice, and my mom was managing his practice.
What's the name of the dental practice?
Adelson Institute.
DBS.
All right. Does Adelson Institute ring a bell as well?
Yes.
I will never get over that.
Did she just say she didn't know?
I will never, ever, ever get over a neighborhood dentist calling his family practice with
an institute.
One dentist full-time, a freaking institute. I just will never, ever, ever get over that.
Gosh.
Oh, and she doesn't knit. It's felting. Anyway. whatever.
And do you know whether the practice there was successful, meaning lucrative?
At one point it was, and
What
not
about between
anymore.
what about between 2013 and 2016? Was it lucrative at that
I
time?
really hate it when she tries to actually be normal and make those weird faces because yeah.
Why is it not lucrative anymore? Because they're retired?
Tired. Duh.
It was
I mean,
the business was doing better than it did after that point when the social media barrage happened.
Referring to this case?
Absolutely.
Okay.
the social media barrage happened. Okay. And by the way, Carol is here.
Thank you, Carol.
Carol, you're awesome. Okay. She cannot pull off being normal. It's so awkward.
But previous
Well,
murder.
What social media barrage?
Right.
And it's Dan Markel's murder. And her last name is Adelson and always has been. And she changed her kids' names to Adelson. So, like, how would people know? The Adelsons weren't charged with anything until much later. So, like, how are people connecting Adelson to Markel? Except that she was once married to him. So, like, what does his murder have any negative press on them?
Well, and also, it wasn't, I mean, they didn't even find the shooter and the driver of the car until 2 years after. So she's acting like that was her reason for moving and you know, all kinds of things. Yeah.
And it happened in 2014, the murder, and we're now in 2023. Like, what? Charlie didn't get arrested. The Adelson name didn't get brought into this until 2022, correct?
They were named as co-conspirator. I think that was early 2022, and then Charlie got arrested, which is interesting because let's think about this. Charlie was never a named co-conspirator. He just got arrested, right? They went to a grand jury with him. I think Donna and her were named before he got arrested. Yeah, so it's interesting.
It's just interesting that she's saying that it was lucrative for quite some time, and now all of a sudden it's not. But, like, girl, it's only been a year since it's not been lucrative. I don't understand what you're doing. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, anyway, doesn't make any sense.
No, but she's counting on the jury not knowing that part. Because if you think about what she's saying, and this is what people who hide the truth will do. Not that she's doing that right now, but if she were, this is what people do. They give you just parts of the information, parts of the story.
Right.
And it's like, oh, what about that 2 years? Yeah, we always have to remember the jury doesn't know what we know.
Right.
Right.
Crazy. Okay.
Oh.
The Adelson Institute was earning approximately $2 million in profit each year.
I have no idea what it was earning. I haven't the slightest idea, but
do you know whether your parents had other investments other than their work at the Adelson Institute?
I don't know.
You don't know if they own any properties?
Yes, you do.
Know that they own properties, but I didn't then.
Okay, and do you know now that they owned properties then?
I actually don't know when they acquired the properties, so I don't know.
All right, was your divorce impacting your family financially? This is prior to the murder and the
It was certainly impacting me financially, but...
Okay, that was a new question. Oh, there's that face again.
The chipmunks. Those cheeks, like, are just...
trying to be cute. She will never be... Wendi. Doesn't work. Don't do that.
I can't even get my cheeks to do that.
I know. She's got a different facial structure. She's a grown woman. Stop it.
I don't think it was impacting the rest of my family.
All right. How many lawyers did you have in your divorce?
I had one, and then Danny accused her of ethical violations. And
Danny's fault again.
Yep. Let's throw him under the bus. Just answer the question.
So I had to hire a new attorney. I think he had 3 or 4.
No, I was talking about you. So you had 2.
Yeah. I think he had 3 or 4. Come on.
I had
That's
one
not,
and
that has
had-
nothing. Just answer the damn question. Sorry.
All right, and
I had 1, and then I had 2, and then I had 3. Oh.
So say I had 3 lawyers. Like,
Yeah, act like an adult.
just answer the question.
Yeah, her face really changes when she does that. It's very weird.
Yeah.
Yes, it's like, what face is that? That's when she looks a lot like Charlie. She looks like his twin when she does that.
who paid for those 2 attorneys?
I did.
Did your mom retire from the dental practice during the time of your divorce to facilitate her spending more time with the children?
No, she didn't retire from the dental practice. She did help me during the divorce and help me with the kids. They were very small, but she didn't retire. She just worked for my dad, so it was okay if she took a leave of absence here and there.
All right. Did you discuss your marital problems and the resulting legal issues with your mother?
I'm sure I did.
I'm sure I did. Oh, yeah. Like 24/7 every minute and every waking minute.
Is it fair to say your mother is a controlling person?
She's bringing her mom up a lot more in this
was
one.
very invested in my life. I don't think
Yeah.
of her as a controlling person.
Is it fair to say around the
She's listening, so I can't say she's a controlling person. If she wasn't listening, I might say something different because that's how this family rolls.
Yeah.
Hey, New York lady. Donna's daycare in murder plot.
Oh my God.
Yeah. I mean, for real.
time of your divorce that your mom
Allegedly.
did not like Dan Markel?
I think that's fair to say. I think she was very disappointed by the way he treated me.
In fact, she despised him, didn't she?
I can't speak to how my mom.
Blink, 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 blink. In fact, she despised him. Blink, 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 blink. That's the first time she did the blink. That's nervousness. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Felt or whether she despised him. I think she was very disappointed.
She sent you.
Disappointed. Please.
And again, it's all throwing Danny under the bus because of how Danny treated me.
Right. It would have been totally justified for my mother to hate him because he was so bad, right?
Because of how he treated me.
I mean,
you're not the bad one, Wendi.
Right.
Indicate her feelings about Dan Markel around that time, didn't she?
She did.
I'm going to show you what I've marked as State's Exhibit 60.
Thank you.
Look at that half smile, half smirk on her face right
now.
now.
That was interesting. I was wondering if you picked up on that. It's kind of like, here, let's go. Let's go. Let's go, Georgia.
It's interesting.
We have 5 more minutes of this section. Working out well.
Oh my God.
Divorce. Too bad she didn't just hire a little dump truck to bring him for effect. Like, do you remember this divorce file?
Yes.
Oh, I don't remember it being, it's just a divorce. No, they don't all go that way. They don't. Seriously.
I was going to say, I need somebody else's opinion on this to have 800 pages.
Well, my opinion is that when I left my husband and divorced him, he didn't want me to also. Like, she's claiming that was why Dan was unhappy. But still, we both hired 1 lawyer each. We could have really done it on our own as far as dividing up the assets and stuff. And I mean, no, it was like 4 pages, maybe. Right. And we both had lawyers, and he was sort of contesting a few things and fighting about a few little things. And it was more like, just here whatever, work it out, lawyers. But yeah, I think it was like 4 pages.
Jeez Louise.
Mm-hmm.
Ugh, okay.
Yep. And New York says the smile is contempt.
Yeah.
Katie, you're naughty.
Oh.
That's why we love her.
I don't know what I did. Ugh.
Yes. And yeah, and we could talk about Georgia. I was thinking about this To Society page. Thank you for bringing this up. I was watching Georgia's body language and as well, and body language and language. Yeah, she's the boss. She's the boss of this room, and Wendi wants to be.
Mm-hmm.
That's how I see it.
Ms. Kappelman, do you want me to read it?
No, ma'am. Just take a look.
And even asking, do you want me to read it?
Yeah.
I mean, it's a way to keep control. She'll tell you what to do, chick. Like, you don't have to say anything. I mean, even I know that. And you're a lawyer. You know how this works.
Right.
You're a witness. Follow directions.
At those and tell me if you can authenticate them as emails that were sent to you from your mother.
I can authenticate them.
All right. So the donnaharvey@gmail.com is your parents' shared email address. Is that correct?
Yes.
So that's why she asked what her father's name was.
Okay. But these emails were coming from your mother based on the context. Is that right? Not your dad.
I imagine they probably represented both of their feelings. They've been.
That's a mistake. Because
why bring them both into it?
Mhm.
Married 51 years, so sometimes my mom speaks for my dad.
That face.
That face and that statement could bury her. Or them. That wasn't smart.
All right. So there's one, I believe it's.
And again, she just can't help herself from wanting to just answer yes or no. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It's on top there, dated May 3rd, 2013. Was that about 3 months before your divorce was finalized?
My memory is that our divorce was finalized in June 2013.
This is important.
So that just be 1 month before?
I had July 31st, so
Okay.
whatever is your memories.
Okay. Listen carefully.
So, okay, this was May and our divorce was finalized in July then.
Oh, wait, this is the private. Sorry, never mind. Okay.
I want to talk a little bit about the emails that are in front of you there. So on that first email dated May 3rd, 2013, page 1 of 5, in the second real paragraph, does your mother indicate that
her voice sounds to me like she's swallowing marbles all the time, except for when her little schoolgirl voice.
Oh, Wendi.
My name is Wendi Adelson, but she's got like I'm swallowing marbles sound, right? Is that what you're all hearing?
most important part of your divorce is relocation?
Hold on a second, Ms. Kappelman. The items have not been admitted into evidence at this point, Ms. Kappelman.
Correct.
All right, so I don't want you reading from them if they haven't been admitted into evidence.
All right, Ms. Adelson, did your mother indicate to you that to her the most important part of your divorce is relocation?
Objection. That's sustained.
Okay, Judge, at this time, I would ask to approach.
Oh.
Sidebar, the witness. Sidebar. Oh.
Thank you. I love Judge Wheeler's glasses. Oh my gosh, they're so great. They're the ones that snap in the middle. Oh my God. They're so fun. He opens them up and then it's like when he has to read something, it's like, it's so good. It's so good.
Oh, the chat is great tonight.
Wheels in the Wendigos plasmas. Oh.
What is that face?
I know. I was looking at that face. I thought you were going to say, what is that sound? Because my cat's feeder just went.
No, that face that she just gave.
I don't know. I just don't know. I think, okay, I would like to speculate that it was her. I'm really not listening. I'm listening face.
Yeah, but she was almost like making eyes with somebody in the, I don't know.
Well, her attorney's out there. By the way, who was that carrying Wendy's purse around for her when she was on the stand? Was that the attorney's assistant? What a horrible job.
I missed that.
Mm. That's right. Fancy broke the news. Fancy and mentor lawyer and Judy. Oh, Wheeler is out. What? What? Oh, no, I did not hear that. What? I heard that Katie was going to be transported. I love Wheeler. Why? Why New York? I've been gone all day. Didn't hear anything. Teenage brow removal. Snap in the front brow. Yeah, I love Why? Is Wheeler okay? I love Wheeler. Maybe a scheduling conflict.
All right, Ms. Adelson, what was the most important part of your divorce to your mother?
You're asking in reference to the email or not in reference to the email?
Not in reference to the email.
So just in general, what for her, it was probably for me to be safe and be in a stable situation with the boys.
She wasn't safe with Dan. This is while Dan was still alive. Now she's claiming by saying her mother just wanted to be safe and stable with the boys. And that, what? Okay, well, that's what happens when you pull something out of your...
Okay, would it refresh your recollection to take a look at the emails in front of you, State's Exhibit, which are marked as State's Exhibit 63?
If I look at it, she's saying
Hold on
here.
a second. Just
Yes or no?
review it, okay?
If you'd read to yourself about the first half of that second real paragraph.
Just review it to yourself, and then Ms. Kappelman will ask you another question.
New job. Okay.
All right, does that refresh your recollection about what your mother felt was the most important non-negotiable term of your divorce?
It does.
Okay, and what was that?
That was relocation.
Boom.
She couldn't just answer the damn question. Like, the evidence is staring her in the face, and we can't answer a question. Like, stop.
She's going to lie until she...
She looks so pissed right there.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
And
we're going to go like 2 minutes over.
did your mother, I think you said she was very unhappy with him. Did you agree that she despised him?
I can't speak to whether my mom despised him or didn't. She was very, very disappointed with the way he treated me.
Okay. Did you ever call him names?
Disappointed with the way he treated her.
Yeah. But nobody ever has brought up negative treatment on Wendi. Ever.
Right.
And that she's not safe.
Right. Especially the safe thing. Jeff Lacasse, but only because
it's what he heard.
Lacasse saw Dan through her eyes. But yeah, it's like he was rude and arrogant and all that. Well, join the party. That happens. I mean, that's...
Yeah.
That doesn't make you unsafe.
Would it refresh your recollection to take a look at the emails for that?
I'm happy to.
Okay, if you'll take a look at...
You know
page 1.
That you called him gibber.
Mm-hmm.
Just read those.
But it's not a bad word.
And then I will draw your attention to page 2 when you're ready. Actually, you know what? For refreshing purposes, I'm going to approach... draw your attention to the items highlighted in green. So just look at those to yourself and then flip through and look at those items.
you want me to do the whole thing?
No, okay. That was going to just yourself.
Which comment society page? So Judge Wheeler has a new job. Oh, we love you, Judge Wheeler. New job. Where is he? What's his new job? I want to know. I feel so close to him.
Did your mom ever refer to your husband as an asshole?
Yes.
A bully?
Yes.
A zealot?
A religious zealot. Yes.
A jackass?
Yes.
A religious extremist?
Yes.
What about gibbers? She calls them gibbers?
Yeah, gibbers is not a bad name. It was a silly name.
Right.
Just like the joke that Charlie made, it was just in poor taste and he tended to repeat himself. Right.
It's just a silly name.
I'm just, yeah.
I would never call that to him to his face, but it's just a silly thing.
How anyone on earth can think this woman is polished or anyway, okay.
That I came up with during a period of time when I felt incredibly terrorized by Danny.
Terrorized? Girl.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, Charlie, he's a rascal, right? Yeah. Yeah, Dan knew. Yes. Oh, gotcha, society page. Okay, yes, for sure. He knew.
Terrorized.
I'm happy. I just want to freeze this comment here. Like,
yes.
Okay. All right. I want her to get to we're almost there.
So it was a word that I would use to kind of make him seem less scary.
Is it fair to say?
Like a 2-year-old.
Holy shit.
Like a 5-year-old.
Less scary?
Yeah. Like
it is incredible.
I think
she is saying.
Yeah, too many of her boys' preschool classes.
Say that it was a derogatory term.
No.
Okay, but
there we go. Nope. With the face. Yep. The extra.
I really appreciate that Georgia is glossing over all of the scary, terrorized, safe. Like,
yep.
Okay. Don't even go there.
Yeah.
Whatever is in your brain, Wendy. Whatever.
Yeah. Go ahead and you try that.
But you came up with it directly in relation to him terrorizing you.
I did. It was a way to take this theme out of a situation I found scary.
No, it was a way to be nasty. But okay, sure, Wendy.
I wouldn't say it was derogatory. I just think it was.
And when you say scary, are you alleging physical abuse?
I'm not alleging physical abuse.
Good girl, Georgia.
Thank you.
Girl, Georgia.
So terrorizing and scary and harmful and not safe, but no physical abuse.
Right.
Okay. And what the hell are you saying, Wendy?
Did your mother suggest that you could do to try to coerce or?
In other words, it's all in your mind, right? So that was a nice tactful way for Georgia to let the jury know there was no
nothing.
There was no allegations of physical abuse in those 800 pages. Because if there were, we'd know about it. The defense would bring it up.
To relocate your kids to Miami.
Well, the defense wouldn't. Excuse me, I misspoke. They're not defending her. They will. Hopefully, I'm projecting what I hope happens.
She suggested that I could change the religion.
She's terrorizing
of my children.
Amen.
Why would that affect the relocation effort?
Because religion was so important to Danny that would be a real hot button thing.
Okay. And did she ever?
Oh, there we go with the close her eyes for an extended length of time, eye blocking. religion was so important to Danny. It wasn't to me. So now she's trying to say, I mean, she's giving herself up here again. That was a faux pas right there.
So
I mean,
either
ingratiate herself with the jury, she should come off as somebody who shared those religious beliefs, but maybe it was just a little impractical or whatever. But now it's like it was important to Danny. Oh, and look at the lip grooming here.
Mm-hmm.
I don't do this on purpose. I swear I don't do this on purpose. Did I cut you off?
No. Well, I was just going to say that her mom is suggesting that either he let them move or she'll change their religion. That's insane.
Yeah, that's really, really nasty. I mean, that is so nasty. And I don't think the jury, I mean, if I were listening to that and didn't know anything else, I would be like, whoa, what?
Yeah.
So we've established initially that kosher was important to Dan.
Yeah.
That the Jewish practices were important to Dan.
Right.
And now
then, okay, so we're not going to change the religion, but the second he's dead, I'm going to take their Jewish name away from them. Like, what an
their
evil bitch.
their grandfather's name. Yeah, that's just
what
I mean, if you
awful.
want to appear as sympathetic, leave the name. Like,
leave him.
She's not. That tells me she thinks she's insulated with her connections or family connections. She'll never be prosecuted, which may actually happen. I hope not.
Suggest that you could bribe your husband to allow the relocation. She did. And how much money did she suggest that she and the family would be willing to put up for such a bribe?
So I just saw the bribe reference, but I didn't see the amount. If you want to show me.
I will refresh you on that.
Hi, happy mother.
Just a moment to find it myself.
Right, kosher style. That was another belittling. Thank you for catching that, New York.
Yeah, that was awful too.
Kosher style? No.
At their wedding reception.
Well, just in general, she was saying, well, kosher style food is, whoa, that's not that's not how I would discuss a religious, something that was religious, was important. Religious. Okay, I don't remember when I'm waiting.
That they would go as high as $1 million, which would be $333,000 each.
And who are the each?
My mom, my dad, and Charlie.
I can't whistle. This is
a very different Georgia tactic, and I'm very impressed. It makes her look like shit.
Well, I don't know that that's her goal, but what do you think her goal really is as a prosecutor? Because,
well, it's motive. It's a financial motive because he's gone, so now they don't have to pay him $1 million.
Right. She's making it very, but remember, Charlie was just arrested. She's been named now in Donna. So she's trying to get as much as she can on the record. Sure. Now remember, what she actually says can't be used to prosecute her, but it's still out there. It's something she said.
Right.
She can't, because she wouldn't prosecute her on that because she already knows this.
Right.
Georgia knows this. She's just having her check the boxes. Right. No, it's very interesting. This just kills me, the kosher style food. I'm so glad I'm not the only one.
Charlie, you mentioned he also lived in South Florida. Was he employed at the family dental practice?
He worked there sometimes.
And what type of work did he do?
He is a periodontist, so he would sometimes do implants or surgery for people.
It's interesting that we've spent this whole time talking about Donna when now we're into talking about Charlie and Katie is where we're going to go. So it's interesting that she spent the first 20 minutes talking about Donna.
Right. And we might have missed the part because we were talking a lot where it was like such a nice, earlier where it was like a pregnant pause after Georgia had established with Wendi that the next hearing in their custody battle was about whether or not she could relocate.
Sure.
And Wendi was like, da 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 da, and Georgia was like, but that didn't happen, did it? Because she said, when was that next hearing scheduled? It was right after Dan was murdered.
Sure.
The whole point of why the whole real, like more of a, this is macro, but more of the micro, like zooming in on the motive was why that week, why that day? Because the hearing about her being able to relocate and some other things were really important, and they were coming up next, and they were done. They're done doing it the legal way. They were done doing it the legal way. Let's give them $1 million. Let's do this. So she's building up this story. Do you want to keep going, or are we?
No, we can keep going.
Okay.
Relocation get granted or denied by the court?
It was denied by the court.
So you were not legally permitted to move to Miami?
No.
Yeah, Wendi can go, but not you. I love that part. Yeah, Charlie has a baby now.
Did you have an alternative? You mentioned previously that there was a hostile work environment at Florida State University as a result of your husband. Or your ex-husband at this point, was the failure to be able to relocate, did that cause you to remain in that environment?
It did.
For how long?
Blink, 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 blink.
I don't remember the date that the petition to relocate was denied. If you could show me the binder, I could find the date.
And I'll draw you to...
Now she's really thinking, what was I supposed to say here? What was I supposed to say here? Because she's going up. Now she's starting to go to that right. First time.
Yep.
She drifted from the left. She bought some time. Oh, if you could show me that binder.
Yep.
Here we go.
Pages 262 and 263.
In the binder?
In the binder? In the binder? No. No. Not in the binder. What else are you talking about? Come on.
In the Bible. She's crazy.
She acts like a freaking baby. In the binder? What else? Where else would it be? She's really searching. What am I supposed to say? What am I supposed to say? I can't remember. Oh my God. This is hard. This is harder than I thought it was.
Yep.
Okay, so the order was on June.
No, wait. June what?
It was June 20th, 2013. So I
Blink, 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 blink,
was
blink.
working at the law school through July 2014. So I stayed for 1 more year.
Okay. And it was...
That was intense blinking.
Oops. Oh God, I just messed up. So I
We
stayed.
were at 120.
I stayed for 1 more year. Now she's talking like somebody who was planning to leave, right? Again, that's a giveaway. Sorry about that, guys. I got so excited. I can hear you scream.
Oh, sorry.
It sounds like
My straw.
a straw.
Okay, so the order
Boom.
was on June.
Yeah, let's get those dates right, Wendi.
It was June 20th, 2013. So I
Blink, blink, blink,
still working at the law school
blink, blink.
through July 2014. So I stayed for 1 more year.
So I
Okay.
stayed for
And
1 more year.
It was subsequent.
I mean, you guys, that's an important thing that you just said. I stayed for 1 more year because she was saying she wasn't planning on leaving.
To his death that you were able to find new employment that was in a less hostile work environment. Is that
Blink, 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 blink.
Eventually, after his death, I found new employment. It took me a little while.
okay?
Blink, blink.
How long did you you stay in Tallahassee after your husband was killed?
Blink, 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 blink.
Stayed a couple of days.
A couple of days. I stayed a couple of days because I've been planning this with my family for a year. Who stays a couple of days? Okay.
And then after I had asked the police for protection at the funeral.
Oh, here we go. And then after I asked the police for protection, no, she didn't do that. She never did that.
Or in my home, and they refused.
And they refused.
That's not true. That never happened.
None of it's true. And for her to frame the police that way, that they refused to help her with her terrorization. You think, oh, he's dead now. I'm not terrorized anymore, right? Okay, sure.
Yeah, but somebody might come after her, is what she's saying.
Mm-hmm.
Just go for a couple of days and spend a few days away from Tallahassee.
A few days.
Then this case hit CNN and hit the media.
Oh, because the case hit CNN and it hit the media. That's her excuse for.
I still don't understand that.
I was going to come back to Tallahassee, the place I hated, right? The place I hated. And I've been fighting with my ex-husband to leave for the last 2 years, tooth and nail. And I've got 800 pages here.
To show you.
Yep. Of fighting, but it was all Danny. Okay, sure. Okay. Oh my God.
Yeah, exactly. Because it's so dumb. Well, I would never, whatever.
What?
I just would never assume that just because my ex being the big word there, was murdered, that I'm going to be next. Why would you ever come to that conclusion? You don't live together. You haven't lived together for 2 years. You have separate lives. You have separate, you work together, but that's about it. Like, I don't know. I've never been in this situation, but.
Well, having been someone who was in a situation where, I've been in a situation where murder was involved and all of that. It wasn't directed at me. It could have been, or it was supposed to be, whatever. I don't know what to call it. But, I think in that sense, I would defend what she's saying. I would say you could come to all kinds of irrational fears, right? Because some of our fears are very irrational. So I could see how somebody could say, well, what's going on here, right? If they really didn't know. But it does seem rehearsed, of course. Right. But so I could say, like, if my ex, okay, so I'm going through a divorce, and let's just say it wasn't 4 pages and it was 800 pages and it took 2 years or whatever, and we had kids and blah, 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 and he all of a sudden got murdered, I'd be like, ooh, what? I'd be a little rattled by that for sure. I'd be quite rattled and not know if you really didn't know where it's coming from. So yeah, I'm sorry, you guys, but I'm going to defend that one on her. But I could see it. Mm-hmm. But yeah. But so you think about a jury, so half of them probably could be like, what? And half of them would be like, yeah, I can see that. Right. So I don't think that's big. Yeah. For me personally. Yeah.
I think it's just an excuse for her. So.
Yes, I have a hearty voice in Nancy Drew.
Oh, Pappy, you have no idea.
You have no idea, Pappy.
I don't mean to interrupt you, but the question was, how long did you stay in Tallahassee after?
I don't mean to interrupt you, but the question was,
stop talking and answer the question.
Love that. I love it.
Your husband was killed.
I'm sorry, Ms. Kappelman. I stayed for a few days.
I'm sorry, Ms. Kappelman.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, teacher. I stayed for a few days. No, it wasn't a few days. It was 2, but sure. Okay.
All right. So how did your mom take the news that you were not going to be able to relocate?
But I just want to say, we know a lot more than what the jury would know, right?
True.
So what I try to do when we do these is always remind myself that, like, if you were just sitting there as a juror who didn't know anything about this.
Yep.
A Lifetime movie. Okay.
Yep.
Curious. All right. Yes, I have.
She was very upset.
She was very upset. Boom. Close that page. I give up. That look was like, she was very upset. Okay, fine. You got me. Right.
God.
Now look at her face. Right? Now look at her face. Not the same face. Yep. Oops.
Oh, we're doing the head bobbing.
Now here we go. Here we go. That, if I ever see a bobblehead doll,
I know,
human coming toward me, I'm going to be ready to fight, because that is her look when she starts to get like her game face on.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm going to have bobblehead dreams now.
Ugh.
Ooh. Little
like
a nice little smile for Katie's counsel over there. Don't worry, I've got this.
But you don't.
No.
Let me just readjust.
Yeah, just adjusting my dress, my coat, my hair a little bit. I'm ready.
All right.
This is
I want to talk
probably a good
little bit
stopping
about the
Stop.
litigation that continued after your divorce was final. Was there a motion to enforce the marital settlement agreement and hold Dan Markel in contempt of court filed by you?
Okay, and I just want to back up a little bit. So that bombshell right there, that she really did just stay a couple of days, that the hearing never happened, right? There was a huge pause there from Georgia, a smart pause from Georgia there.
Let that all sink in.
Let that all sink in, jurors. Yeah.
Yep.
Yes.
And a few months later, did he respond with a counter motion to enforce the marital settlement agreement's final provisions, alleging some violations that he said you made on the marital settlement agreement?
Yes.
Yes, we did.
And these filings are pretty
Yes, I did.
venomous. Is that a fair characterization?
Not on my part.
Oh, not on my, look at my face.
Not me.
I look venomous to you? No, of course not. Do I have the face of venom?
Okay. And he accuses you of various...
She has the face of a snake who just ate a gopher. You know how they get all, and then you see the gopher going down. Yeah.
Things, lying about your financial affidavit, things like that. Would you agree?
He does make those accusations. They were completely baseless, but yes.
I agree, Brad.
Completely baseless.
Yes, baseless.
But everything I say was not baseless. I mean, it's obviously 100% fact.
And then the bobblehead after the statement.
Oh, did you?
It's like her getting into her.
In the pleading.
Oh, here's the tie tilt.
Mentioned as something to fight over. And I can draw your attention to that page in line if you need it.
Surprise! The look of surprise.
Hold on. What is she saying? I'm sorry. I missed this part.
Okay, where am I?
That is correct.
I'm quiet.
And he was seeking a court order saying she couldn't have contact with the kids unless there was another adult present, correct?
I see that here. I don't think I took it seriously at the time, so it didn't really lodge in my memory.
She didn't take it seriously, right?
Did your mom take it seriously?
No.
Was it ever ruled on?
I don't know.
I don't know. Let me look.
If it were, it should be here, right?
Right.
Is it here?
I'm sorry. Pause.
It was scheduled.
Oh, is it here? If it was, yeah.
You would 100% know if your mom could only have supervised vision with your children. You would know. So don't sit there and pull this bullshit. Was it ever ruled on?
Right.
Girl, you would know. That would be, we've talked so much about how close you and your mom are and blah, blah, blah. And then to sit there and say, was it ever ruled on? I don't know.
See, this is where I think her acting like she's some kind of little girl all the time is going to backfire on her.
1,000%.
Right. Because she's playing into it here. Like she has throughout. Right.
Horrible acting, Wendi. Horrible acting.
Well, it's worked for her in her circles well enough. So here we go. So this is it.
To be ruled on in August of 2014, right?
August of 2014. What happened in August? Let's see. Was Dan here in August 2014? Oh my gee, I don't remember.
Well, that's real convenient, isn't it?
There's the face. There's the August 2014 face. Right there. That's the face of August 2014. God. If anyone ever mentions August 2014 to me, that is what I'm going to remember for the rest of my life. That freaking face.
Oh, bad.
I don't know when it was scheduled for. I do know that nobody took it very seriously.
Okay.
We didn't take it very seriously. Just like,
but it was scheduled
very seriously. No big deal.
Okay. So your mom wasn't worried about that motion being granted?
No, her mom wasn't worried about that. There was a lots of no's, like no.
Of course not. Are you dumb, Georgia? No.
All over the place. Like I nod my head any more than that. So there it is.
A little bit about your brother. You can just sort of close that binder and leave it.
Yeah, you can close that binder and leave it now because now we're going to get to Charlie. So this is a good time to pause before.
Yeah.
Yeah. Wow. And it is true. Their hubby was hating Danny, and that is so sad. Yeah. That is so sad.
All because he met her on the internet. Like, it's just like, if that had never happened, he'd still be here. It's horrifying.
Yeah. I mean, he was looking for a perfect mate, like, people do. Yeah. As people do, looking for a mate, and thought he would find one. And and the horrible thing about it is that it was on a Jewish dating site, right? So you would think he was looking for somebody who had the same values.
Yeah,
and
absolutely.
Yeah. And I mean, yeah, it is really sad. It's beyond sad. Yeah. So there it is. Take a pause, and we'll try to finish up either in 1 or 2 more episodes. Hopefully next week. Are we going to go live next week, Katie? What do you think?
Yes.
Okay.
We will.
Okay.
Are we doing it Friday or Saturday?
Oh, that's an idea. So, hey, folks, we could go Saturday live where we'll actually be physically together.
We're going to be in the same room. We're going to meet each other
in person.
I'm so excited.
That is
I just got goosebumps.
I know, right? That's a good idea. Let's do it together on Saturday night. You guys, can you be here Saturday night? Well, if not, replay it. That sounds really great. That sounds really great. Yeah, and Donna did find him for her. That's so sad. Like, it's really sad. I mean, I never lose sight of what happened here. Like, we might make jokes and stuff, but yeah.
And if Donna picked him, why didn't she pick somebody who would be willing to be in Miami and who would be willing to be under her control and who would be willing to adopt the kosher style food? And like, she knew that Danny was quote unquote a religious zealot. Like, she knew religion was important to him. So why him? Like,
right.
It's so awful.
Yeah. I mean, what I think, I don't think that much thought went into it. I just think that she picked like a profile that she approved of, that she would think would be appropriate for her daughter. And I mean, what man would want to be under her control? Who
Charlie?
Would? What
Charlie?
woman? Well, yeah, because she was raised by her. He doesn't know any better.
Why can't you find somebody like Charlie for her?
Why didn't she just marry Charlie? It would have been perfect.
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Hairball.
Yeah.
Dan was a catch. And that's what it's so sad because, I mean, Yeah, it's really sad. It's really
Awesome.
sad. And for her to pretend like all these things were just so trivial, that doesn't work. I mean, that wouldn't work, in my opinion, as a jurist either. I'd be on that jury and I'd be like, she doesn't think this is very important. This is huge. Like, this is your divorce. This is your custody of your children. She's acting like it's an afterthought.
Right.
Yeah. Justice for Dan. I mean, there really is.
Yes.
You know, somebody said, I can't remember who it was a lawyer, and they said, you know, we don't have a justice system, we have a legal system. I personally, I say I want justice for the Markels that are living, because there is no justice for Dan. He's gone.
No.
They did this to him, and that's the point. But a little bit of justice would just mean they would be stopped from doing more harm, you know?
And that they were to have consequences for their actions. Like, that's what the justice is.
Right. Yeah. And Dan was Canadian. Canadian people are so nice. They are.
Yes.
Canadian nice. Yeah. So, okay, guys. Well, anything that you guys noticed that I didn't notice or Katie didn't catch up on? I'm just really just devastated that we're not going to have Judge Wheeler. Oh my gosh. So what's Judge Wheeler's new gig? I want to know. He was so good. I mean, there are certain judges you just love, you know, some of them like as much. And yeah. Helen says Dan had the blue eyes and the kids got his blue eyes. At least one Wendi had to buy them. Yeah. I haven't gotten into Ellen Greenberg's case. First of all, because it's not a trial. I would love to see a trial.
I know. Did you see that they just denied the appeal to reclassify it as a homicide?
Yes.
Yeah, that was awful.
Yes.
There's no way she stabbed herself 10 times in the back of her head. Like,
no, but there has to be a different way than what they went at it. It's unfortunate that it was upheld, but there are other ways they can continue. It's just really sad after 12 years that this couldn't be heard as a regular. But they have to do an investigation, and then the more years go by, like, what are they going to investigate? But I listened to I don't know if any of you in the audience listened to the prosecutor's podcast, and so I heard what they had to say on this matter. And as sad as it is, and as much as they would like to see an investigation done and perhaps somebody brought to justice for this, they said that given the constraints of the law, that it was actually the correct decision in their opinion, which is really, and they want justice. But so.
Oh, the other crazy hearing that happened today was the Karen Reed pretrial hearing. Are you following that case at all either?
I didn't even get to see a minute. And then I heard somebody else wasn't the first. Yeah, that was her. Karen Reed is what's the husband's name?
Oh God, that's so bad that I don't know this.
Right. I think, but there's
I only
another.
know her.
The one that
Jeff? His name Jeff?
The last name.
Oh, I'll have to think about it.
Yeah. I missed all of it. I was gone all day. Yeah. So Judge Wheeler went to Superior Court. Good for him. So yeah, and we do hope they grow up to look like Dan. I hear at least one of the boys really look a lot like him. Yeah.
Yes.
And it's unusual because the brown eye is usually more of the dominant gene. So the fact that they both got blue eyes is kind of cool.
Yeah.
I
agree.
Really nice. Oh, what a sad situation. Anyway. All right. Okay, guys. Well, so we'll see you on Saturday. Katie and I will be go a little earlier. We'll see if we can go a little earlier, and maybe we can actually finish the second half, because we got through more tonight than we had planned. So like 12 or 15 minutes. So that'd be cool. We could just roll on through.
Yeah.
And I think you all got the new, I'm sure by now, and I don't know if you heard, Katie, but the transport request for Magbanua to get from state prison to the local jail is put in place for October 9th or something, a couple of weeks before the trial starts. So most people are saying, well, that means she's going to testify. But let's just remember, it could mean other things. Could mean other things. Could mean even better things. We'll see. We'll see. So do y'all think she's going to testify, or do you think it might mean something else? And I'm not going to speculate here because I think the majority of people think it means she's going to testify. And obviously that's the obvious answer. But it could mean other things. It could mean nothing. So what do you think? What do you think the defense? And I wanted to do something else. I don't know if there's going to be time, but before, if we get through the final part of her testimony, I thought it'd be fun to do a mock jury on the panel. And I would ask the questions and you all could give me the answers. Like, yeah, I think it'd be really fun. I think it'd be really fun. Yeah. It would be. She came in a go-kart. Good night, New York Patriot lady. Bye-bye. Good night. Yay. Who came in a go-kart? What did I miss?
Oh, did Katie come in a go-kart?
Katie. Oh, because Charlie likes go-karts. This 47-year-old man plays with go-karts. Not kidding. Oh. Little midget go. I mean, something we did when we were kids growing up, right? Right.
Yeah, you had one. Yeah. Yeah. Oh my God.
There was I think it was a wiretap from Fancy Fiction, if I'm not mistaken, where he's all talking to his mother, Donna, about the go-kart and justifying why. Oh, it's really fun. And she's like, oh, yeah, that sounds really fun, Charlie. Whatever. A go-kart. Oh yeah. I can honestly say I have never dated an adult who was into go-kart.
No.
That's really sad. Yeah. He is. He's insufferable. Yeah. Okay, guys. Well, we'll see you next week. Thanks for joining us. We love you and we really appreciate you. And I'm so glad we have found our tribe, hoping for some justice for the Markel survivors for sure. So with that, we'll see you next week. Take care.
Bye.